name is Paquet. I'm actually a creative director at Shared Vision here in St. Pete and one of the organizers of the Shine Festival.
And for people who don't know, tell our listeners, what is the Shine Festival?
Sure. So the Shine Festival is an international mural arts festival here in St. Pete. So we've got a great current local mural culture going on. And we decided that it was time for us to kind of look around the world and around the nation and find some artists to bring in and sort of elevate that scene, support that scene, and give it a little bit more attention.
Why is it important for a city to have street art?
Well, I mean, I think street art is the next version of public art, right? I mean, there's always been a budget in city budgets for public art, and I think this is the new version of that, minus the money. You know, it's a little bit more guerrilla, it's a little bit people getting out there, and festivals like this are really sort of elevating it so that people understand it in similar context to public art.
Since you mentioned the money, how much does this cost, and where does the money come from?
So that's a good question. We got great support from the city itself. We got great support from the St. Pete Arts Alliance, and then a whole host of sponsors here in town. So it was a lot of asking for favors and getting small amounts of money and collecting it together. And most of these artists are actually here for free. I think that's something that people don't understand. They probably think a lot of these guys we're flying them in, which we're paying for them to fly in, but no compensation. They're just here to give us some presents on our walls.
We're here in front of Ricky Watt's mural.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you describe it for someone who can't see it?
Sure. So Ricky's work, he calls these his space rainbows, and it's a very organic style. So a lot of the mural artists, every one of them that's coming has a little bit of a different style. Some of them project and sort of trace that projection. They do the artwork beforehand. Ricky started in the center of this wall with a yellow circle and then builds out in gradients. As that circle grows, he then just starts to organically move towards the edges of the wall, and then just all those colors sort of overlap and look like they're sort of woven together.
And what are some of the other murals that people might see in this festival?
Sure. So what's really exciting is we have a couple of folks who are St. Pete natives who've actually gotten really big and moved out of town. So Eric Jones is a fine artist who lives in Brooklyn now. Did his first mural. It's actually done. It's on 23rd Street and First Ave South. That's a beautiful one. Michael Vasquez is on that wall as well, also a fine artist who recently had his work shown in the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery. And then right behind us is an artist named Sharktooth out of Los Angeles, very large scale shark, which is kind of his trademark.
Are there enough local artists in this festival, or that's one criticism I might have heard, is that it's showcasing a lot of out-of-town people, but maybe not enough local people?
Yeah, and it's funny because that's one of those things that even when they were talking about redesigning the pier and they were taking plans from out of town, I was one of the people that was like, why are we not using local people? So part of this mural festival, we have Chad Mize of Blue Lucy, we have Basque, Tess One is involved as one of the organizers, the Vitale brothers work with Eric Jones. So we have about 4 or 5. Carrie Jadis is local, she did one, Yala Ford did one, so I'd say about a third of them are actually local talent.
And my final question is that the one main criticism that I have heard is that there's some art that's being painted over, specifically the person that's squeezing an orange. What can you tell us about that?
Sure. So that is Sebastian Coolidge here in town, Seabass. Great guy. As I was saying, the mural scene here is good. Thanks in large part to Sebastian. So that particular mural, that building was purchased, and that mural was sort of a sign for the business that was there. It was called Freshly Squeezed. So the building owner decided that, didn't really want that on the wall anymore, but did agree to leave it up for the Shine Festival so that as people are coming into town to see all this work, they can see that one. But I think one of the things to keep in mind with street art is that it's by design is ephemeral. So it's sort of, by its very nature, it's covered over and over. Even like Ricky Watts, if he goes to Powwow, Hawaii, or one of these large festivals, it's highly possible his piece will get covered next year. So it's kind of just part of the process. We personally, as Shine, we're not covering any murals. We found all new walls for everything.
And what's the next step? Is there going to be another Shine anytime soon?
We're hoping to make this an annual thing. So we're documenting it. I think we live in a day and age where you've just got to document everything and then promote it, and then hopefully we'll be able to gather sponsors next year to make it a little bit easier and get some burden off of the city for financial support.
Thanks so much.
Sure, of course.